Alright. Is everyone ready to go?
No.
Zach, do you have a light you could put right there? Like a light so you can see your face better?
Zach, you in there? Mama, don't come out. No, you're getting out because I'm getting in the shower. Oh, jeez.
That's funny.
Are we only doing the rankings or are we doing more?
We're doing whatever we think. Alright, someone go make sure live is good. Wait for something that you to make me shrinking.
So, you done?
I have an idea. Hang on. Wait, are you in the thing or are you looking at the thing? What the? Okay. Save. Exit. Alright. Alright, set your phone, Jace, to where you had it for the rest of the time.
You didn't think about it. Work out.
Jace, you're sideways on my thing. This is your sideways.
Yeah.
The struggle is real. Alright, there you go. Okay. Make sure you're good. Make sure
Hold up.
In here?
Alright, Zach, are you good?
No.
Jace, are you good?
Yeah.
Alright. Let me go check the stream. You can still see me. Let me check the stream. Alright, so guys, wait, Jace, you sound good. Like, are you checking too? It should show, like, me about to stream. Alright, there we are. Obviously, I'm only like... Nothing? Hello? JC, are you watching this? Are you watching the stream?
What?
Are you watching the stream?
Check the screen?
Are you watching it?
Yeah. I got it on my computer. Yeah.
Alright, can you see everyone good?
Let me see if the sound's working.
Can you see everyone good?
Yeah.
You can see all of us good? Zach, do you have a light?
The sound's working. What?
Zach, turn on the lights.
Are you watching it? Yeah. I got it on my.
Going.
Yeah. Alright, see everyone good? Let me see if the sound's working.
You get a light, Zach. Can you see all of us good?
I turned it down now.
Can you see us good, Jace?
Yeah.
You can see all of us good? Zach, do you have a
Yeah.
light?
All good. That's lights off. Right?
Let me see it like, okay, if one of you talking, I'll like just go like this. Make sure that looks like. Okay.
Alright, turn that down a little bit. You get a light, Zach.
If I click
Can you see
Zach,
us good?
I turned it down now.
that's not Zach. I want
Can you see us good, Jace?
there's Zach. I wish I could like pull me up there, but I can't. That's so dumb.
Zach, do you have a light?
All good. Lights off.
What if I enter full screen? What's that like?
You see it like, if you talking now, like, you go like this. Make sure that looks like. Okay. Alright, turn that down a little bit. That's not Zach. Oh, you see us good, Jace?
You can try to call me on Messenger.
I wish I could like pull me up.
Alright, Zach, it's just gonna be me and Jason to get that all squared away. Hey, someone turn that down because it's like
What's that
echoing.
noise?
Zach, turn that down, Zach.
They turn it all the way down.
It's echoing. There you go. Okay, there we go. It's back.
Alright, Zach, it's just gonna be me and Jason to get that.
I just heard it. Someone turn the stream down. Oh,
Hey, someone turn that down because it's like
What's
echoing.
that noise?
wait a minute. I think it's me.
Zach, turn that down, Zach.
Wait.
They turn it all the way down.
It's echoing.
It is me.
Okay, there we go.
There it is. Okay. Is that better? Is that better? Alright, I'm gonna exit out of everything else. Exit out of this. Okay, so that. Alright, we good?
Yeah.
Let me see if Zach's cooking. Zach, aim it down a little bit. Can't see your face that good. I don't see up your face. There you go. There it is. There he is. Alrighty, we're in business. Alright. Alright, guys, welcome. Make sure. Alright, last one. Let me make sure we're all good. Turn that up a little bit. Alright, I'll start off the stream. Guys, welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be reacting to the AP polls. So first, Jace, tell us your take on the AP poll. Okay, first, Jace, how about you read us off the AP polls?
You want me to go from 1 to all the way to 25 or start from 25 to 1?
25 to 1.
Okay, we'll start with the lowest. 25 is Tulsa in the college football playoff poll.
Okay.
24, Iowa.
Okay.
23, Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
22, Auburn. 21, Marshall. 20, Coastal Carolina, so they're further down than the AP poll.
Yep.
19, North Carolina. 18, USC. 17, Texas. 16, Wisconsin. 15, Oregon. 14, BYU. 13, Iowa State. 12, Indiana. 11, Oklahoma with 2 losses. Miami 10. Georgia 9 with 2 losses. Northwestern all the way at 8. Cincinnati at 7. Florida at 6, Texas A&M at 5, Ohio State at 4, Clemson at 3 with 1 loss, Notre Dame's undefeated at number 2, and Alabama undefeated at number 1.
All right. I'm still on the whole Ohio State thing. Wait, we should do Ohio State last, shouldn't we? Because that's like the biggest thing.
I think the BYU one is a little crazy.
Yeah, BYU.
Oklahoma and Georgia, I don't believe they should be that high.
Yeah, BYU's undefeated, aren't they?
Yeah, 9-0.
Oh, you put. So they have teams with 1 loss ahead of BYU.
Yeah. Well,
They have some teams with 2 losses ahead of BYU.
That's bad. That's bad.
But what I do agree on is these teams do have a better strength of schedule and they have better wins than BYU. So I don't think BYU should be that low, but I also don't think they should be in the top 6. So I think BYU should maybe be 10.
I think BYU should have 8. I think they should stay at 8.
Or at least 9.
I'll give you 9. Zach, what's your take? Where do you think BYU should be?
Ten. Because they shouldn't have Iowa State or Oklahoma in front of them.
All right.
The Oklahoma one really kicks me.
Yeah,
Oklahoma they have 2 terrible losses to terrible teams.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess Iowa State's not terrible.
Well, the thing with Iowa State.
The Big 12 is not good this year. I don't think Oklahoma should be in the top 15.
Yeah, and see, that's where I am. There's a crappy big. I mean, I don't know. I think Oklahoma. I think they have Oklahoma as like in your video, Jace. I'll leave it down in the description. Everyone go look at that. Not right now, cause okay. Anyway, nothing's down there yet. But I think that I think that it's just like it just really gets me how they could have Oklahoma above BYU. I feel like Oklahoma is another one of the overrated teams. As you said in your video, you said Clemson and Alabama. You think those are the most 2 overrated. I agree with you there, but I feel like Oklahoma is another overrated one, and BYU is another underrated one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Georgia as well. Georgia shouldn't be in the top 10 with 2 losses. 2 big losses. They lost to Alabama badly, and they lost to Florida badly.
Yeah.
Which I get those are top 5 teams, but, I mean, let's be real. Those are ugly losses. They shouldn't be in the top 10 with 2 losses.
Yeah, and here's why.
Especially ahead of, they are ahead of
the thing that, okay, is people will be commenting on our stuff, our Instagram and everything, down the description, not yet. But they're always like, they're like, they say stuff, they like, do all this crap. They're like, Clemson shouldn't even be in top 10 and this and this and this. Okay, here's why I take it. I think Clemson should be 5 or 6. People have them at 4, but I think everyone's gonna hate me on that.
I agree with you on that. I don't think they should be in the top 4. They haven't been healthy for like 6 weeks now, so
and not just that.
We don't know what Clemson is right now. We don't know if they're as good as what they are when they left off.
Yeah, and not just that. They got jacked on by a terrible Boston College team. It wasn't even like a good college Boston team.
In the first half, yeah.
It wasn't even good. It wasn't even a good team. And the fact that they even hung in there and had a chance to win the game really ticks me off. Clemson. What was the over under on that game? Do you know? Can we get that information?
Let's see if it's still on there. Do you know what week that was?
It was.
What game?
The
Boston College and Clemson.
Yeah, it was right before it was a week before Notre Dame. Notre Dame was. I was either.
34-28.
That was the over under on it.
Yeah, he wants to know the over under. That's not the over under. Let me find it.
What they say? Okay, look, I feel like Clemson should have beat them by at least 30. Should have gave them a whopping hand job, you know. But instead, they had a dogfight down there in Boston College, you know. They had to grind out every single point, and afterwards, I don't want to hate on the ref too much, But the ref at the end of the game, called what was it? Illegal touching and then
The over-under was 58 points.
58 points? 58.
Yeah.
And they beat him by 4?
Are you talking about... No, that's not the over-under. The over-under is basically how many points are going to be all together in that game. Clemson was favored.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
You're talking about separation points.
Yep, that's the one. I couldn't think of it. I thought it was called over-under. I'm about to say, if Clemson was facing okay, all I'm saying is Clemson beat a bad Boston.
Clemson was favored 15.5 points.
15.5. And they put up a whopping 4-point win.
They did. I will say, Clemson, they have to get a new quarterback, a new backup quarterback for when Trevor Lawrence leaves to the draft, because this backup quarterback is not good for Clemson right now.
Clemson is going to be another LSU team. LSU, dude, they're getting...
I wouldn't go too far on that.
I will. I'll go all the way to say
Why is this over here again?
They can't. I mean, if they have a struggle beating...
I think Travis Winnie will find a new quarterback for Clemson once Trevor Lawrence leaves.
They're not going to the playoffs next year. I'm just going to go ahead and say they're not going to the playoffs next year. This is their only shot. I feel like that's why they still have them in there, because it's either now or never, you know what I mean?
Dude, I just hope to God that Notre Dame can beat Clemson second time in the ACC championship. And if that happens, obviously the lockdowns are Alabama, Notre Dame, and Ohio State.
Where's
So
my
who would
charger?
the 15 be? Who would that? If Clemson goes down a second time to Notre Dame in the ACC championship, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Ohio State are on near lockdown. Patrick, shut up.
I think it's Jessica.
Who would that 14 be? Braden?
What?
Who do you think that 14 would be? Who do you think if Clemson
lost
to
Notre Dame
ACC championship, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Ohio State have 3 spots on lockdown, who would that 14 be since Clemson's out?
If ATM can keep it going, they're gonna go in there, but they're not gonna. They're gonna get dogged on. If
Yeah,
ATM,
it's possible. There could be.
If
There
ATM,
could be a second SEC team in there, or like I said, maybe Cincinnati gets in there if they keep going.
no, they will not have.
Cincinnati's at 7.
They will not have a higher state than Cincinnati in there. Are you crazy? Okay, here's where Alabama overrated. Alabama, like I said in the last live, they're a big old pile of dog dookie. All right, they're washed. They're all washed. All right, Clemson. No, they have no hope. If they get to the playoffs, they're just gonna get run-rolled in the playoffs. If they beat Notre Dame, they're going to go up to 2. Notre Dame's going to go to 3, so it's pretty much no difference if someone play each other. And then they'll have Ohio State and Alabama play. I'm telling you this, Ohio State, if that happens...
Honestly, I want to see Ohio State and Alabama in the national championship. I think they're the
best 2 teams right now. They're the best 2 teams right now. It should be... Right now, this is my take, okay? Right now...
But I will say, with a fully healthy... Go ahead.
This is my take. Okay, right now, I think Alabama shouldn't be in the top 4, but with everything going on now, my words have changed since last video. I think it should be Alabama, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and then I don't know who that 4 spot goes to right now.
I want Notre Dame to beat Clemson. I would love for Notre Dame to beat Clemson a second time, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it'll be the 4 teams that are in right now: Ohio State, Notre Dame, Clemson, Alabama.
Okay, here's Ryan. If Trevor Lawrence doesn't come back, they're not going to do anything. But if Trevor Lawrence comes back, Notre Dame will not beat Clemson again. Because then he'll just have that chip on his shoulder, you know what I mean? It'll be all about him. Okay, say this. His first game back, they're in the playoffs. Clemson versus Notre Dame. After everything that's going on, after all the coronavirus, after all the losses, after all the porn about the Boston College game, Trevor Lawrence will come in there feisty and on. He'll come in there just wanting to just tear up, you know what I'm saying? He'll come in there, he'll just wash Notre Dame's defense.
That would be pretty weird if we see Notre Dame and Clemson for a third time in just one season. I don't know. It depends. If Clemson ends up blowing out Notre Dame in an ACC championship, I don't think they're going to put Notre Dame in. But if it's close and Notre Dame loses, obviously Notre Dame and Clemson might be in. So I don't know. But Clemson, I think if they're a fully healthy team and they don't have anybody with COVID, everybody's playing, I think they are better than Ohio State just slightly. But mainly because Ohio State needs help defensively. Offensively, Ohio State's great.
No, okay, here's where I am. Clemson will be a little bit better, but if Justin Fields has another off day, Clemson will dog on Ohio State, just because, like I said, they're backs, and Justin Fields couldn't get anything going against that Indiana defense. So if our backs play poor, say we play Clemson just some way somehow, we beat Alabama, Clemson beats Notre Dame in the playoffs, we play Clemson in the championship. Justin Fields has an off day. Our backs can't stop no one. Our running game's poor. Ohio State's gonna get dogged on by Clemson if Clemson's healthy and we're not obviously we'll be healthy, but if Justin Fields has an off day, our backs can't stop a semi truck coming at him. Okay, our running back cannot run if he had a wide open lane. You know, he gets 5 yards when we should be picking up 12. But I mean, you can't hate on Master Teague too much. You know what I'm saying? He's not. Ain't that he's doing bad. It's that he should be doing better. He's doing good, but he should do better. I know he isn't doing bad.
Ohio State definitely needed a replacement.
Replace Master Teague.
J.K. Dobbins, he was a dynamic back. We really need him right now, and same thing with Chase Young. We would really love to have him back right now.
Well, see, here's where I beg to differ. Chase Young, his last few games at Ohio State, didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. How many sacks did he have the last 3 games?
He didn't do nothing in the Big Ten championship. But he did a lot in that Clemson game, except it didn't help the fact that our offense was only doing field goals instead of scoring touchdowns. And, obviously a couple of blown calls that really turned the game around against Clemson. The rest wanted to do. They were SEC officials, so that kind of explains everything.
I'll never forget.
SEC officials always screw Ohio State over.
I'll never forget that play where they said it was an incomplete pass. I just don't understand. I don't understand what
targeting call when Trevor Lawrence ducked into the player.
Okay, here's why. I think that should have been I think that should have been a targeting call. But here's where I am. I also made a video on this also. It's on my B-Ball So Eat channel, Bird Damage channel. I'll look up either one, it'll come up. There was a holding on Chase Young in that exact play that they did not call. There was a face mask and a holding by 2 different players on Chase Young at the same time, and they didn't call either one. Alright, Chase Young's chin strap by the end of the play was on his nose. Because they grabbed his helmet and just yanked it up. His shirt was being pulled out, but they didn't call any of that. The only thing they called was a 50-50 targeting call. I don't understand how you can't you can't do that. I mean, if I was a ref, I would have threw the flag for the targeting, but I also would have threw the flag for the holding.
I don't think it was targeting because honestly, he came in full speed. It looked like targeting, but they ended up calling it mainly.
Oh, that is not a game.
Trevor Lawrence ducks down into it, but if the player ducks down into it, they shouldn't be targeting.
Well, okay, even if he didn't duck down, it still would have been the head and neck area still, and he still would have lowered his head down. So, I just think that personally, I would have still threw that flag, but I would have threw the flag for both calls. Zach, what would you do in that situation? Targeting or
if they would have threw a flag for both calls, they would have got the personal, not the Yeah, Clemson would have got the targeting. High State wouldn't have got the holding.
Yep, that's where I am too.
You guys are gonna be up for a while. Take the dogs out one more time.
All right, you got the dogs out, Jessica. All right. But again, like I said, I don't think if Clemson's not healthy. Okay, now let's put this in perspective. I put the if Clemson was healthy. If Clemson's not healthy, they rattle off a win against Notre Dame. Ohio State. If Ohio State's good, they're gonna steamroll Alabama. All right, if we get all the little bugs figured out, we're gonna steamroll Alabama. Calling it 21 points, 21 to 28 points. All right, if we're healthy, if we're good, if we're ready to go, our backs are man up. Not Joe Burrow. Justin Fields has a very good night. Running back is doing okay. We're on steam mop Alabama. And then if Clemson, rattles off a poor win against Notre Dame, Clemson's not healthy. They still have no Trevor Lawrence. Their defense is a little shaky. We will win the championship if we're doing good and Clemson's not. But it all depends on who has big enough bowels in their sack to be able to just take on whatever is thrown, and who can really, take a gut shot and just keep on going. Ohio State last game did not handle either of those very well, No one had a big enough bowels to get something across the 50-yard line in the first half, in the first quarter. It was, in my opinion, one of the worst games I've ever watched Ohio State play. Besides, the worst game I've ever watched Ohio State play was that 53-0 Clemson Ohio State game in 2017, I think it was. Zach, mute yourself. Zach.
Did you know that in most cases, you, the homeowner, are
Okay.
lead to your own goods. You can look it up. There's a problem with those lines.
Zach. Alright, sorry, stream. Zach, do you have any other room you go to? That's loud. I can't hear Jace. Alright. Okay, don't know what that was.
We're talking about college football playoff rankings. Is there a chance there's a Pac-12 team that gets from the college football playoff?
No. But they started so late. I don't think those.
I don't know.
But what if one of these teams looks more dominant than Alabama, Notre Dame, and Ohio State combined?
I don't know.
Then probably.
The closest team right now to the top four is Oregon at 15. And then USC at 18.
Okay. What is it? I think, alright. That's a tough one. Alright, now what everyone wants to know. What do we think of the moving Clemson up to number 3? Jace, you go first.
Moving Clemson above Ohio State.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Alright, Zach, just real quick, mute yourself.
Huh?
Mute yourself real quick.
Yeah, Zach, whenever you're not talking, you just mute yourself.
Yeah. Alright, go Jace.
Relax, start. I said it in my video. If that were, say, this whole situation was flipped. If Ohio State was 7-1, they had a top 10 loss to Indiana by 7, like Clemson had against Notre Dame by 7.
Mm-hmm.
or even a top 4 Indiana team if they were in top 4 and Ohio State lost by 7. Immediately, Ohio State wouldn't even be in the top 4. Even if
They wouldn't be in the top 10.
4. Ohio State would bump like maybe all the way down to 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
And they do every time. They do that when we played Penn State in 2016. But say Indiana and Ohio State are basically in a position that Notre Dame and Clemson are. So Ohio State is number 4. We have that one loss to Indiana. We have like 7, 8 games already played, and Clemson only has 3. And Clemson's sitting at 3-0. Even if they still have that some close games like Ohio State has. Immediately in these college football playoff rankings, Ohio State would not jump Clemson. It's just not how it works. Clemson and Alabama, they've been to the national championship like 3 times in the last 5 years together. So they're just both overrated, and I don't think that Ohio State would ever get that kind of luck in college football playoff rankings because Clemson and Alabama do. They always favor Clemson and Alabama,
and it's
and
not.
They always get the highest spot.
And then here's my thing. It's not about luck. It's about who they like and who they want in there. They're never gonna put Ohio State over Clemson. And see, I seen this tweet.
Well, it's lucky if it comes to Clemson and Alabama. It's not lucky if it comes to the committee.
I seen this tweet by Conley. He said Ohio State. He said relax, Buckeye fans. He said they just put Clemson over Ohio State to mix up to put drama into the college football. They just want to mix the pot. That's pretty much what he's saying, you know. And I mean, great. That's great. But if Trevor Lawrence doesn't come back, they're gonna look retarded, you know. If Clemson loses to Notre Dame and a number 3 spot when they have a chance to beat Alabama, they're just gonna look retarded. So it's going to be thrown back in their face. I feel like they should have Alabama and Clemson play because that'll be the closest matchup that Clemson will have. That'll be the closest way they have into the playoffs. I mean, the championship. And
listen, they can't make the excuse of, well, Ohio State's only played 4 games and these other teams have already played 9. Mm-hmm. Ohio State's team steamrolls the Big Ten every single year. They've steamrolled. I mean, despite the 2 years where we lost to Iowa and Purdue, but that was when we had JT Barrett. And then the Purdue game, honestly, I don't know what that was. But, I mean, at this point with Justin Fields, I don't see us losing like that again. And Ohio State, they steamrolled Big Ten every single year. The only team that would come close to beating Ohio State is Penn State when they were good. So they weren't good. They're not good this year. So the only teams that would really come close is Wisconsin and Northwestern. And I don't see us losing to either of those teams either. Ohio State's just too good of a football team than all these other Big Ten schools, and they can't make the excuse of, well, Ohio State's only played 3 or 4 games and these other teams played 9 or 10. And honestly, Ohio State, I wouldn't be surprised if they're number 4 and say Clemson beats Notre Dame in the ACC championship. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a 1-loss Notre Dame and Clemson team above Ohio State in the college football playoff when the actual playoff teams are revealed. And I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama won Ohio State's all the way down at 4 undefeated. And then the 2 1-loss Notre Dame and Clemson teams are above Ohio State at 2-3.
Yep. Where do I start? Okay. The thing that I don't understand, right? You got a beat up Clemson team. Oh, this is the only thing that I can think of why they put Clemson above Ohio State. You got a beat up Clemson team. You got an even worse beaten up Ohio State team. But even with that though, Ohio State still finds ways to succeed and Clemson did not. I think that and what was it, 3 years ago I think when Ohio State didn't make the playoffs? If I'm correct, was it 3 years ago?
When we had 1 loss?
Yeah.
It happened in 2018 with our 1 loss to Purdue, and it happened in 2015 with our 1 loss to a top 10 Michigan State team by 3.
Yeah, that's what it is. they always said it's who you lose to, not who you beat. Okay. All right. Well, if it's not who you beat.
Listen, before you move on, I want to talk about this. This is what I mean by Alabama and Clemson are overrated and Ohio State's underrated. In 2015, Ohio State's sitting at 10-0. They're in a primetime game at home against a top 10 Michigan State team when they were good with one loss. It was 17-14. Ohio State lost by 3. It was the second to last game of the year. And Ohio State drops all the way down to 9, and they didn't give us enough time to basically, and no conference championship for us at all either. They didn't give us enough time to actually, they basically dropped us all the way down to 9. Instead, if it was Alabama or Clemson, they dropped them down to like 4 or 5. Ohio State, I think they were number 1 at the time, or number 2. But we lose by 3 to a really good Michigan State team. By the way, they made the playoffs that year. And then let's fast forward to 2017 when Alabama is number 2 in the country. They're facing a top 15 Auburn team at home, and Alabama's sitting at 11-0. Alabama gets beat by Auburn 26-14. That's 2 possessions. That's 2 possession games. And Alabama only drops to 4. No conference championship, just like Ohio State in 2015. And Alabama makes the playoffs. Of course, Alabama won the national championship that year. But, I mean, let's be honest, Alabama shouldn't have been in the college football playoff at all, because in that situation, Ohio State would have dropped down to like 10.
They wouldn't have been
and
top 10.
That's what I'm talking about, why Alabama and Clemson are overrated and Ohio State's not.
And here's why I think of that. That's a bunch of BS, all right? You can't change what happened in the past, but you can change what's going on right now. And I feel like Ohio State's going to change a lot this coming week when we destroy Illinois. All right? With everything going on, we're going to destroy Illinois, I think, by 35. 35.
Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully Ryan Day gets everybody straightened up. Ohio State's supposed to wear all white uniforms. That'd be pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Zach, what do you think Ohio State is going to do against Illinois? You're muted, by the way, right now. So unmute yourself first.
Ohio State's probably going to beat Illinois like by 40.
Okay. All right.
At least.
All right, I'll take that. What else is there? Oh yeah, I don't think Clemson's going to play another game until the playoffs.
Who got next week? This year.
It's already postponed.
Listen, I'm pretty sure they got South Carolina.
They're just going to keep writing it off until the playoffs, and when the playoffs, and they're like, yeah, we got the playoffs, and they're going to get walked because they're not ready. Something else I want to hit on.
Alabama's game's postponed.
Oh, it is? Who'd they play?
No, their game's not written off. Number 4 Clemson's supposed to play Pittsburgh at 3:30 Saturday.
Isn't that postponed?
Alabama is supposed to play number 22 Auburn at 3:30.
That's why. That's why.
I read the wrong. That's my fault.
Wait.
So Clemson and Alabama are still going to play.
They are? I looked it up.
As what they say right now, come Friday or Saturday morning. They'll probably write it off.
I looked either yesterday or the day before. It said it was postponed. All right, that's weird. All right, let's just wrap this one up real quick. I want to hit on the upcoming games. What do you think? Is Alabama winning out? Yes or no?
Right here. Look. Alabama's first play. Auburn at 3:30 says right there, and then Clemson. Their game's still on against Pittsburgh.
All right.
We'll see what happens, I guess.
All right. Now to wrap this up, I just want a yes or no answer. Is Alabama going undefeated for the rest of the year?
The way the schedule looks, yes.
Jace, what do you think?
And against Florida, I think it'll be a high-scoring game. It'll be a good game. I'm sure they're going to play Florida in the SEC championship. I think, Alabama should win that game.
All right. I think
It'll be high-scoring back.
I think they're winning out. All right, moving on. Notre Dame, are they winning out? I'm going to say I'm going to go first. No, they're not winning the SEC championship against Clemson. Jace, yes or no? Is Notre Dame going undefeated the rest of the year?
Hey, Notre Dame plays number 19 North Carolina.
Okay. Okay. Do you think they're going to go undefeated?
Notre Dame plays number 19 North Carolina this week. They play on Friday, actually.
Friday. Ooh.
Number 19 North Carolina. They play at North Carolina on Friday. So that'll be a good game.
Do you think they're going to go undefeated the rest of the year?
Not against Clemson. I think they might just barely edge against
Okay.
North Carolina, but I don't think they're going to be in the ACC championship twice if Trevor Lawrence plays.
All right. Do you think they're going to go undefeated, Zach? Notre Dame, undefeated, yes or no?
No. They're going to lose in the ACC championship.
All right. And your favorite, number 3, Clemson.
I want to wait
Go ahead.
real quick. I want to hear what you guys' Final Four teams are now. I want to see if you guys have changed any at all.
Well, wait till I'm done. I already started.
You guys the same Final Four teams, or you guys rearrange?
That will come next. Back to what I was saying.
I changed one team, and that was my number 4. My number 4 is now Cincinnati.
Mine's the same. All right. Now, your favorite. Clemson. Undefeated rest of the year. Yes or no?
Are they
No?
going to win out?
Oh, they are. Okay. I think they're winning out. Zach, is Clemson winning out?
I think they are.
Let me look at the schedule. Yes,
All right. Now,
because they play 2 unranked teams.
well, don't get too ahead of yourself, Zach. They just lost to Boston College.
Wait, so you think Notre Dame's going to beat Clemson a second time in the ACC championship?
No.
No. Clemson's gonna win out, but lose.
You just said they're going to win out.
No, I said Clemson was gonna win out. Notre Dame was
Yeah, we're talking about Clemson.
gonna lose in the ACC.
Then Notre Dame's not going to win out.
All right. Now, your most underrated team in all of college football, the Ohio State Buckeyes, winning out. I'll start off. Yes, a whopping yes. They got Illinois, Michigan State, and whoever that other team is. I can't remember their name. They're so bad. You know, it's going to be like an easy run for Ohio State. And they got Northwestern in the Big Ten Championship, who we beat 2 years ago in the Big Ten Championship. They're winning out. They're making the playoffs. All right, Jace, what do you think? Win out or no?
Yeah, I think we'll probably
Yep.
basically cruise through the rest of our schedule. We'll crush Illinois, Michigan State, whoever the other team is. And then Northwestern, I think it'll be much closer than what it was in 2018, but I think we'll win. And Northwestern will be a good matchup for Ohio State.
I don't think it will be a good matchup. All right, Zach, are they going undefeated? Yes or
I
no?
do think we'll win out and beat Northwestern.
Is Ohio State winning out?
And hopefully we get into the playoffs. Hopefully we get into the playoffs and we don't get knocked out of the top 4 for beating Northwestern.
We'll probably get knocked out. We'll get knocked out because they beat them too bad. They'll be like, oof. They beat by 30. Nope. Clemson lost. Put them number 1. Number 1. Wait, no. Alabama and Clemson both lost. They're tied for number 1. All right, Zach. Ohio State winning out. Yes or no?
Yes, they went out.
All right.
Listen, before we move on, I want to say to anybody who's watching or is watching the actual video when the stream's over, we're not doing this because we're Ohio State fans. We're doing this. It's basically the truth. I proved my point back in 2015, like I said, when we beat Michigan State by 3 and they knocked us all the way down to 9. But again, Alabama lost by like 13 to Auburn in 2017, which was the last game of their regular season.
Yeah, we're not doing.
Alabama still made the top 4. We're not doing this. We're not doing this because we're Ohio State fans. This is basically just the truth right now.
Yeah, like I'm spitting facts. Undefeated rest of the year. All right.
But I will say I don't care that we got knocked down to number 4 below Clemson because this is just the first college football playoff rankings. There's still like 3 more to come before the actual playoff rankings come out. But I'm just saying it's ridiculous what they do and what they look at.
Yep. All right, let's wrap this one up. All right, who wants to do the outro?
You got it.
All right, I got it. I got it. All right. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in to College Conversations, where we decide to smack talk on Clemson, Alabama, because they both are reeking right now. Dumpster fires all over the place. We'll see you next time.
I hope you didn't smack talk on them, and then Alabama and Clemson end up crushing us in the playoffs. I hope to God that doesn't happen. Watch that happen.
Yeah, if that happens, I'm gonna cry. We might change our name to Clemson and Alabama Suck Dog Balls. We're still talking about that, but yeah, we'll see you next
And how
time.
about Michigan? They should be in the top 4, shouldn't they?
Oh God, Michigan should be number 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, number 1 at the shit bowl.
Yeah. Oh God, it'll be a race. Alabama, Clemson, and Michigan, all for the Dog Bowl. God, that'll be terrible. They could have put those 3 teams together and make a good one. All right. All right. Well, we'll see you later. Dubai.